So with DOKKANFEST TURLES being revealed to come next to Global Dokkan, I'm sure a lot of players are curious what exactly we can expect from his celebration, because of course Worldwide Allen Celebration is wrapping up within the next couple days, so most people's attention is starting to shift towards the next batch of content that we're going to get. And let me just say, all things considered, this is actually a pretty good celebration in terms of like content. There's a part 1 and a part 2, which we're only going to be going over part 1 in today's video, by the way. We'll go over part 2 when it's a little closer to releasing, but considering it's just, kind of a random celebration, the amount of stones you're going to be able to get, there's going to be a free-to-play LR, the free-to-play units, all that is definitely very good. So, a big W all around. Turles himself probably could have been a little bit better. Some of the Easy A's probably could have been a bit better, but it's still a good celebration, So, I guess with all that said, we can just go ahead and hop right into it. Now, first off, we do have, some login bonuses, submissions, basic stuff. I mean, you already knew this was going to be here. And then next we do have the banner. So I'm going to do a separate video going over, the banner in detail and all that, but just to briefly look at it, it's an easy skip. Unless you're a big Turles fan, it's an easy skip. The only value this should have for most players is buying Yamcha with red coins. That's about it. Other than buying him, I don't really recommend doing anything with this banner, whether it be summoning or buying anyone with coins, because Bardock is good, but I wouldn't buy him with coins. There's just better options. And then Turles, he's aged, and then Bojack really needs an Easy A. So the banner isn't that crazy other than Yamcha and then the 3 new units, which is why I don't really recommend you summon. But if you're a big Turles fan, I mean, I get it. This banner has some value. Like I said, Yamcha's good, and then all 3 of the new units are very good. So I could kind of understand why you would want to summon, especially considering how bad Extreme Class is, so then pulling one of these units would be pretty useful. Especially these guys right here, but we'll go over that in a second. So, I do want to briefly go over all 3 of the new units. We're not going to spend too much time on this because I don't want this video to be too long, but we'll go over the main portions of their kit. Now, the Turles' leader skill is Space Traveling Warriors or Pure Sands, 170% to stats, and then the extra 30% is Planetary Destruction or Low Class Warrior. It's a pretty good leader skill. He leads Pure Sands, so, you can't really go wrong with that. And then he's got Space Traveling Warriors right here, which helps him lead some, Extreme Class units. So, a good lead overall. Running him as a lead might not be the best, though, because he's not a good slot 1 option whatsoever. So then having 2 of them floating around in the fight could be kind of difficult. But if you're facing a Goku family category enemy, then he gives this buff right here. He's giving Extreme Class allies 3 ki and then 18% attack. Yeah, obviously very good. So then if you're running 2 of him, you're going to get 6 ki and then, 36% attack? So that could definitely be pretty crazy. You'll notice, like, all your Extreme Class units are not going to be struggling with ki whatsoever, and then you'll see their damage go up a little. But to get this, you have to be facing a Goku family enemy, or an enemy whose name includes Gohan Kid. But if the enemy's name includes Gohan Kid, it's a Goku family enemy. So just be facing a Goku family enemy, and then you get this buff right here. But dude, it's going to be tricky to get. We don't have any Goku family enemies in difficult content, let alone super class enemies in difficult content, except for a couple stages we got during Worldwide, but doesn't really matter because none of them are Goku family category enemies, so you're not really going to get this activated anywhere. I mean, maybe if we get like a new, I don't know, legendary Goku event, or they revamp it or something like that, then he could be pretty good in there. Or if we get like burst mode for the GT legendary Goku event and he's on one of the categories, he could obviously get that buff in there. But I don't know, man. Right now, because there's no really difficult superclass red zone stages or difficult content, he's not really that useful in there. So I would say right now, he's just not that good. I mean, it's another case of extreme physical sand fumble, right? I mean, it's not really a whole lot to say. If we get difficult content with a Goku family category enemy, he can be somewhat useful if he has type advantage, because then he's got this 20% damage reduction, and he's building up 160% defense. So when he's fully built up, he's going to be pushing a million defense with 20% damage reduction, which is good, but I don't really know if that's good enough. Like, you're still dying from supers, and considering this guy is a 200% lead, that makes you have the incentive to run him as a lead and then run a friend version of him. That means you're running 2 units on the team that can't tank a super, and obviously that's not good. Granted, they do have a good support, so they're still helping other units do more damage, be able to get more ki, and then that could help them get 18 ki super, and then maybe the 18 ki super helps him get more defense. So he is massively helping other units on the team, but I don't know, him himself, I feel like he is a little lacking. That's why I wouldn't really recommend you summon unless you're a big Turles fan, because he's just the definition of mid. He's not bad, but he definitely isn't good. He does have the active skill, it does some solid damage, that's about it. There's no effects other than damage. So Turles, pretty mid. And then next we have the Almond and Raisin. So I don't know what they were doing, but if I didn't know any better, I would say that he's the DOKKANFEST, and then these are the 2 banner units, because this guy is crazy. His leader skill obviously doesn't really matter, it's a banner unit. He gets 30% defense on super. He has a high chance of sealing a super attack, which sucks. I don't know why they gave him a high chance to seal. Should just be guaranteed, but I don't really think it matters. It's not like you're running this guy in super battle road anyway, so not that big of a deal. And then this guy's passive is that he gets the 150% to stats. He's supporting planetary destruction category allies for 1 key, and then 30% to attack and defense. And then he supports for another 20% defense, and 10% crit chance for allies who belong on the space traveling warriors category. Very good. Most units you're running alongside him are going to be on both those categories, so obviously very useful. And then this is the part where he becomes like good. Guaranteed guard and 20% damage reduction as the first attacker in a turn. And then he's also building up 150% to stats. So if you get this fully built up, I mean, your defensive stats going to be like 500, 600k, and you get 30% defense on super. You could potentially get additionals, which I don't recommend you go full additionals with this guy, but if you want to give him a little bit of additionals, that definitely could be good. By the way, full dodge is how you're going to want to build him. So then he's going to have that defense because you got this big defensive stat right here. You've got 20% damage reduction and guard. And if you've got the Tough as Nails link activated, that's another 5% damage reduction and 20% defense. And then he's got also, you know, Thirst for Conquest. He's got some other links that give him a lot of power as well. So between his links, between just his insane defensive buffs in his passive, this guy's going to be very good. An amazing banner unit. I would say probably one of the best banner units in the game right now. I'm trying to think if there's anyone that's better than him. I mean, STR Piccolo is still very good, which is crazy because he's over a year old at this point. But STR Piccolo, I think, is on the same level as this guy. They're both very good defensive units that are also supports. But because Extreme Class is very, very bad compared to Super Class, I think this guy has a lot more value than someone like STR Piccolo. So, a very good unit with him. Now, the other banner unit, what's their name? DS and Cacao. They're alright. I mean, you know, they get dodge, so if you run them in slot 2 and then you run this guy in slot 1, it could be a good rotation. They link up very well, of course, and, you know, they're good. They're not a support, so unfortunately, you know, running them outside of the Turles' team can be a little wonky, and they're not going to have that much value other than if you just throw them in slot 2 or 3 and just pray they dodge, but they're good. I mean, that's pretty much it. They're solid. But the main unit, this guy right here, I don't know why I went blue there for a second, but this guy right here, yeah, he's good. So, I guess that's pretty much it with the banner. Sorry, we talked about that for a while. We also have the new Dokkan event, you know, free stones. We've got a new Dragon Ball story, so obviously very good. It's just more free stones. And then right here, we got the Prime Battle event. So, look, Dr. Wheelo, as a character, you know, very good. He's not in the game yet, or he wasn't in the game before this release. So, obviously getting a new LR for him is good, and he's free to play. So, you see that as a big W. But he's not really that good. I hate to say it, but you can see he's got a lot of stat buffs in his kit. You know, like attacking defense plus, what is this, 100,000 right here. He's got 60,000, another 60,000, which is just kind of unfortunate. Units that have just like flat stat buffs are not really good. You can tell they typically age a little bit worse, and also they're just a little bit worse on release because these buffs is just less impressive, right? He does have guard built into his kit, but it's only medium chance, so then getting that's going to be kind of difficult. And overall, he's just not really that great of a unit. But, you know, it's a Dr. Wheelo. He's free to play. You guys might as well grind him up. You'll get some free stones, and then maybe in some events where you can only bring free-to-play units, this guy could provide some value for you. So, overall, I'd say he's pretty good considering he's free to play, but he's really not that great as an overall unit. And then next up, we do have some sub-EZAs. Yeah, these two guys right here. So, the Physical Goku and then the AGL Turles. I mean, they're not bad. I guess maybe in burst mode they can be kind of useful, but they're really not that great. This Goku right here, you know, he's kind of a support on his super attack effect, so that's pretty good. He's also a support in his passive. He supports Power of Wishes category allies, so that can be pretty good. But neither of them are insane. You're not missing out on much if you just completely skip their sub-EZAs. I would do it just because, you know, I think you get some free stones for doing it in the EZA event, and also they can have some value in maybe burst mode, maybe a super battle road stage, but they're not that crazy. So, you know, it's not a priority that you get them EZA'd. We got a new Ultimate Clash. That'll definitely be good. Got Sales, the Elder Kai Ritual Summon. And then right here we have the Go Bros EZA. So this completely came out of left field. I have no idea why they're EZAing during the celebration, but whatever. Yeah, their easy A weakness is Planetary Destruction. This is the main category that's been buffed during the celebration. All the new units are on it. I guess Dr. Wheelo might not be on it. I'll just check really quick. Yeah, he's not on it. But most of the other units, you know, all the Turleses and the Turles minions are on Planetary Destruction, so this should be very easy because of that. We'll do a team guide when this is closer to releasing, but if you don't care about that, Planetary Destruction is the weakness. And then next, I think we got a Super Battle Road stage. Yeah, so you see right here, it says Extreme Super Battle Road. It already got revealed on the global news. It's going to be a Super Battle Road stage, and the category is going to be Powerful Comeback. So, Powerful Comeback, a good category, right? Nobody really should be struggling with this, especially because the Carnival LR Goku, the main lead for this category, was just featured on one of the Carnival LR banners. So I'm sure a lot of you bought him with coins or managed to pull him. So this should be easy for most players because you'll probably have access to this guy right here. And then I think that's it. We got Dokkan events becoming available every day. We have a chain battle versus the Gohan Great Ape, which I tried to pull this up earlier, but it didn't work. Okay, now it's working. So what is it? The Gohan Great Ape. We can just show this really quick just so you see the main categories you're going to want to use. This guy right here. So Space Traveling Warriors, Low Class Warrior, and then Power of Wishes. So basically just all the Turleses and all the Turles minions, and then a lot of the base Gokus from like Sand Saga and before that. So should be pretty easy with Chain Battle. Me personally, don't really care about Chain Battle, so it doesn't really matter. And then also we do have new quest mode stages. So that's pretty much it with part 1 of the celebration. Like I mentioned, there is a part 2. You can see all this right here, but we'll do that in a separate video, going over that into more detail. And also, again, we're going to do a video on the banner and the team guide, so make sure you stay tuned for all of that. Let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to most in the celebration. Me personally, I mean, as I guess weak of a performance as he's going to put out, an LR Dr. Wheelo is still cool. So I'm really hyped for this guy's release, especially because he's free to play. So once again, that has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.